How far would you go in order to really achieve the things that you want to achieve? Now, of course, many people say whatever it takes. I seriously believe that there is a lighter version of that. And I say that you need to make public commitments in order to push yourself towards success. Now, the success can be defined as whatever you want to have it. For example, it could be happiness, it could be relationship, it could be money, it could be freedom, it could be anything in the world. But you need to push yourself in that direction because most of the time the human mind is kind of lazy. We want to push ourselves only if we have a kind of fear or if we have some kind of urgency. For example, when there is an exam coming up tomorrow, we are going to study as hard as possible tonight. But if there is no exam coming up, we are not going to work as hard. Now, the problem is, of course, if you would work really hard every single day, you would accomplish much more. But most people cannot do that. Most people are just simply not in that kind of mindset in order to reach something that is perhaps out of sight for other people. Now, I think we all have those goals. We all have big goals. Whether it's, being a millionaire, whether it's about being famous, whether it's about being completely happy. That is a big goal in my mind. Because let's be frank, who is really happy? I think almost everyone has a lot of problems. And there's always something in our life that doesn't make us happy. And of course, that is what life is all about sometimes, and perhaps makes life more interesting, but also sometimes we just, are depressed and don't feel good. So in the end, what I really think is if you want to get something, you really need to push yourself in that direction. You need that kind of extra push that is, letting you do something that is crazy, that you would normally not do. For example, pulling an all-nighter, even though you have nothing to, pull an all-nighter for. Or for example, work really hard every single day in order to achieve something, even though perhaps you would not do that if you wouldn't have had any goal in your mind. So again, the goal setting is very important here. We need to have a certain goal in our life in order to accomplish it. Because if we don't have a goal, or our goal is not very big, or our goal is not really, anything that is like factual and, can be measured, then we are always going to look and we never will feel like we actually accomplished it. For example, when you say, I want to have a lot of money, and that is your goal basically, and you make $1 million, then you will feel like, is this a lot of money? Or is it 10 million perhaps? And when you have 10 million, you will think, is a lot of money actually like $100 million? And you will probably never ever become happy and never ever have a lot of money, in the sense that you will never really think that you will have a lot of money. Now, I want to talk with you in this video about public commitments and what you can do in order to push yourself towards a goal. And it's all about, again, the ideology that you want to do whatever it takes, but in a kind of lighter version. So what we want to do is we want to share our goals on social media platforms, such as Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, in order to pressure ourselves to really get them done. Now, for example, what we can say is we want to post on Facebook something, and we can say, I want to build $1 million business in the next 3 years. Now, that is a goal, that is a realistic goal, and when you write that down, you actually will get a lot of people who will like that, and who will, remember what you wrote. And if you have a lot of Facebook friends, many people are going to remind you of that all the time and will ask you how it's going, how are sales going, and so on and so on. And if you do not succeed at that, and you just simply don't get anything done, and other people, understand that, then they're gonna laugh about you and they will think, oh, what an idiot. But if you get it done, then everyone is gonna be extremely impressed by what you did. And even more impressed if you would have just pulled it off like that and would have never said it. Now, the great thing is that you're basically saying something that might be happening in the future, and if it comes true, you'll be like the Messias. So if you say, I want to build $1 million business, and in 3 years' time you actually will have $1 million business, then guess what? People really look like you are, look at you like you're the Messias, the ultimate entrepreneur and hustler. But anyway, you want to share your goals on social media so that everyone, thousands of friends, can see them. So again, pressure yourself a little bit, because pressure is a good measure for growth. Now you probably think, this is not what most people are teaching me. This is definitely not what my parents told me, what the mainstream online entrepreneur community is telling me. But in the end, think about it logically. Does pressure really get you to places? Yes, it does. It definitely does. When, for example, there's an exam coming up tomorrow and you completely forget it, and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot this, then you're gonna work really hard and you're gonna pressure yourself and you're gonna get it done until tomorrow. If you would have just, not known that there's an exam tomorrow, would you even have studied? No, definitely not. But when you say, for example, I want to have a $3 million business in 3 years, so I want to make, let's say, $1 million per year, you're going to work like you will make $1 million per year. So you'll get like into a much higher thinking kind of state. So again, what it all comes down is that you will fear other people judging you negatively if you don't reach your goals. That is the point. So fear can be actually a success drive. Because, for example, I have a fear of not having enough money. And that's why I'm working really hard to never ever end up in such a position. So that is basically my advice for you. You need to work hard, you need to be smart, and just simply get things done all the time. So now I have a little example for you. So I posted this a couple of weeks ago actually, and I'm sorry that the top bar is still in German because, well, I live in Germany. But anyway, now, so the one thing that I wrote on my Facebook wall was basically 2017 is going to be the year I'm going to get ripped. And then I wrote hashtag training, hashtag fitness. Anyway, but I wrote that and I got around 50, I think I had 58 or 59 or 60 or something like that likes, and I got even 2 shares, and I got like 20 comments or something like that. And that was like the point where I really understood, okay, I need to get this done. If other people see that again in a year or something like that, or remind me of that in a year, and I'm not ripped yet, I'm going to look so stupid. Because especially in the last couple of years, I gained a lot of friends and people who trust me a lot, and they're business partners with which I'm friends on Facebook, and there are just so many people on my social media page that have a very close connection to me or a business relationship to me. And when they saw that, they were like, okay, that is weird, but I'm going to support him. And that is also, I think, the reaction you're going to get from your parents, from your friends, from business partners, from people from your job, and so on. And if you then really pull it off, it will look so amazing. So that is my advice to you. Just make public commitments, and believe me, these public commitments will pressure you a little bit, but that is positive pressure.